massive new person, new entity, has shown exposure to the Bitcoin ETF. It is none other than the third largest bank in the United States. Wells Fargo has exposure to the Bitcoin ETF. Which ETF do they have exposure to? We're going to talk about that. Might surprise you. Maybe not. Also, we're going to talk about some news. Exodus, the crypto native company, the SEC blocked them from going public in the last waning hours. What does that mean for crypto? Is companies like Coinbase in trouble with their lawsuit? We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a look at prices and why Sui, after the news I just read, is a front runner for potential big layer ones to get massive adoption. I'll share that news with you. Also, AI coins are pumping, Akash is pumping, Friend and SocialFi are pumping. Which chain should you keep your eye on to be able to realize some of those gains that are going to happen in this market cycle? We're going to talk about that. We're going to look at prices. Also, big app for Jupiter is launching over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Is that going to make Solana the best layer one, dethroning Ethereum in the entire space? Let's talk.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, stale information, repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way. You know what? I thought last night when I looked at the price of Bitcoin that we were on our way to 70,000. It was at 63 and some change. I was like, Big Rob's going to be right. We're going to get there right at the finish line. And, well, I woke up and, 59?
There are certain coins and sectors that are pumping, right? And we'll kind of talk about that. But big news today, man. Big news today. Let's just kick it right off. Wells Fargo, America's third largest bank, owns the spot ETF. Now, Robin, have you read this article?
I have not.
Okay. You want to take a guess?
I know the headline, but I haven't read.
Do you know which ETF that they went with? Do you know?
No.
You want to take a guess?
I'm assuming with that cheesy smile of yours that it's not BlackRock.
But okay, so
just
common sense would say BlackRock, right? Kind of
Yeah.
BlackRock, at least Fidelity. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was Grayscale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were calling me crazy, but I mean, if you are a bank, right? If you're a bank and you're thinking about custodying Bitcoin for the first time or you're getting exposure to Bitcoin, do you want to go to someone that has 3 months of experience custodying Bitcoin, or do you want to go to someone that has 11 years of experience? And so and for us, we could be like, well, BlackRock, obviously they're not going to mess up. They've done their homework. But at the end of the day,
But we know they're like this, right? Right. Fidelity, BlackRock, the banks.
I get it. But at the end of the day, like you're going to buy Bitcoin and you're a bank. There can't be any mess up. Like there can't even like if the chance of impermanent loss by losing your Bitcoin, if the chance is 0.005 with BlackRock, and then it's 0.001 with Grayscale,
you'll pay the 1.5.
Yeah, you're gonna take the premium just to be that much more secure. Because you can't because there's no insurance on Bitcoin, right?
That's fair. Okay.
And so if you're a bank, you gotta pay the premium for what seems like a more secure form of custody, right? And for me and you, it might seem illogical to pay that premium for what you'd be like, BlackRock ain't gonna lose my Bitcoin. Yeah, well, hey, this guy they done it since 2013, right? Grayscale has been their fund, their Bitcoin product, 2013. So 11 years now, and so BlackRock's been at it for 3 months, 4 months now. So.
That's a fair point. I just, I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought for sure it would be BlackRock, Fidelity, not just the hey, we've been working together for years, or hey, Larry, how you doing? Nice to see you last Thanksgiving, but also the fees. But I mean, proof is in the pudding. I guess they'll pay that 1.5. It's just interesting that they didn't go with like the mini ETF, lower fees, same company. Who knows? I want to share this tweet from Caleb Franzen, who's saying, well, why is Bitcoin going down? Well, he kind of asked the same question. So he said, wouldn't Bitcoin blast higher if Wells Fargo was buying GBTC? You're telling me that the third largest bank in the US is supposedly buying Bitcoin via spot ETF, and the underlying asset is down 3% today and plus 1% since the news broke. Something seems odd. I'm not going to extrapolate on this and kind of put words in his mouth or what he's thinking, but same question to you, Robin. Like we always talk about, oh, if this news was in a bull market, man, we'd be pumping, dude. In the bear market, when we're doing our show, it'd be amazing news and the price wouldn't move. And we'd always say that, oh my God, if this is a bull market. Well, aren't we in a bull market? And isn't this big news?
Does this drive euphoria for people in Wall Street?
Gives a stamp of approval?
No. I'm not saying that it doesn't. For me and you, we understand the magnitude of it, right? For me and you, we sit here and say, like, wow, like, look where we've come. Back in 2019, 2018, this wouldn't even exist, right? There's so much uncertainty with Bitcoin. There's no possible way a bank would get exposure to Bitcoin, at least like on a balance, like not a U.S. bank, right? Not at least not the largest, right? Not the second largest, no, wouldn't happen. And so for us, we identify how monumental something like this is, right? But for someone that is outside of crypto, maybe someone in Wall Street, perhaps some of the whales, perhaps institutions, companies, maybe they just look at us and are like, just Wells Fargo, invest in diversifying. It seems logical. Bitcoin it's here to stay, obviously, and banks getting exposure to Bitcoin, not that big a deal. And I'm just saying, from a market perspective, from a short-term price and analytic view, for people that are in Wall Street, taking risk, buying commodities, hedging your bet, diversifying your portfolio, getting a basket of commodities, whether one commodity is a little bit more risque, you know what? I think that Wall Street is used to this. I think that if all of a sudden Apple releases their quarterly reports and they have a growing interest in NVIDIA, I don't think that everyone's going to be like, oh my God, did y'all hear Apple got into NVIDIA? Like, no, they're going to be like, typical Apple move, diversify, get a company share in other technology sectors. And I think that people look at Wells Fargo, at least people on Wall Street, and they're like, hey, you know what? They're banking. There's a Bitcoin product out there. There's a safe, easy way to get exposure to Bitcoin without having the headaches of custodying. And you know what? They went into it. They're acquiring. That's from a short-term analytic perspective for why is the price not exploding, right? And for us, for me and you, for retail, we understand the magnitude of it. If it was just a couple years ago, this would never happen. And now, I think it's almost run-of-the-mill news now, right?
But you don't think an asset that still has that aura of, yes, does it have more approval, like as far as in the people's minds, and like an actual asset they should invest in? Does it have more than that it did 2, 3, 5 years ago? Yes. But we're still at a point where you still have a lot of people who are like, that's funny money. No one uses it. And you have the third largest bank. I'm just like, aren't people like?
Don't you think $60,000 though? I mean, when you zoom out from the price movement in the last, I would say, 60 days, if you kind of exclude that, if you think about it, bro, we just had the halving, right? And historically, the halving, we are way far ahead on the price of Bitcoin. If you were to look at history and where the price of Bitcoin has been at this moment post-halving, right? So we've already crossed all-time highs a few weeks ago, and we've had a little pullback. We're down to 60,000. And so pretty much at all-time high. Remember the previous cycle for all-time highs was 67, 68,000?
69K.
Okay. Well, either way, we were still in the 60,000s. And that's where we're at now. And in a time in the market where we're not expected to be even near all-time highs, right? If we look at historical data, we're supposed to be around 2030. So I know that you, David, and retail, I know y'all want and expect Bitcoin to be $150,000 right now. I'm like, banks are in.
You said it was going to be
Companies
70.
are in. Like, but at the end of the day, zoom out. Look where we're at in the cycle. We've already crossed all-time highs. We're a couple weeks past the halving. We have the upcoming frothy part of the bull market coming up, the parabolic side. And then you know what? I'm so bullish on what happened yesterday on the fact that Trump has kind of put his neck out there and said, if you support crypto, you support Trump, right? And I'm not sitting here telling y'all who to vote for, but the reality of it is, if this man gets elected, if Trump gets back in office, then he, one, is probably going to boot out Gary Gensler. Do you not? You agree or yes?
Yeah.
Okay. He's gonna boot out Gary Gensler. He's going to replace him with someone that I'm assuming is going to have at least some kind of leaning towards pro crypto, right? And
yeah, you can assume,
with the change of administration, at the same time, literally at the same time that we're expected to go into the bull market, right? If you were to look historically, you'd say, when do you get the parabolic run up on crypto? It's 6 to 8 months after the halving, right? What is 6 to 8 months after the halving?
All-time highs.
No. What was that? Well, what is 6 to 8?
The election.
The election.
Yeah.
So you take the election plus the exact point where the election is over, plus the exact point where the market is supposed to be going parabolic. You're going to have a change in administration
Plus
more than likely. It seems like that's going to happen.
Well, Robin, plus people trying to front run a potential Trump or RFK victory, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, obviously there's time where your president elect, I don't think you take office until January. I think is where when it comes in, right?
Yeah.
And so if it's going to be January, I think that's the front running, right? I think he ends up winning, or let's just say hypothetically, if he ends up winning, then everyone's going to expect Trump to come out and change a lot of cabinet members, particularly the Fed chair, I think is the first one to go, followed second by the SEC chair and Gary Gensler. And so
he came out and said, as a president, I will do the interest rates myself.
Dude, I mean, it might not be the best move for our economy. I don't know. That's a different argument to have, and maybe, but I forecast one, lower interest rates, which has bode well for risk on stocks, and particularly has bode extremely well for crypto. And on top of that, we're probably going to get a change in the SEC chair, which I think has to be pro crypto.
Yeah,
and so with that said, man, I zoom out, and if you're over here kind of disappointed at where we're at in the market, I'm just going to bullet point what I just kind of talked about. One, we are exceeding price expectations for the point in the market that we're at. We've already crossed all-time highs, and at the point where we're supposed to be getting the frothy part of the market, 6 to 8 months post halving, that's the same time as the election, and the person that is leading the polls that wouldn't be surprised if he won, that person more than likely will make some moves that in cabinet members that is going to be very, very bullish for crypto. And so I'm excited, bro. Very excited.
The really funny comment on our live show yesterday. Someone said, Robin had the worst political take in the worst take in political history. A politician won't 180. That's so funny. We talked about, hey, is Trump giving lip service or is he like actually, gonna stick to his word? And Rob kind of was like, nah, I don't think he's not gonna do that. And so it's just really funny. Okay. All right. I do want to give a big shout out to today's channel sponsor, the Crystal K 4K or the Crystal Clear 4K stream you're watching on your device or television would not be possible without our channel sponsor, Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business and you want to learn how they can help your business scale, grow, and maximize your cybersecurity, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video.
Did you say Crystal K?
Crystal.
That's
Clear
like,
4K.
yeah. That seems like
Wait, what is Crystal K? That sounds very familiar.
It's like Special K, the narcotic. Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
No.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's like a mix.
Sounds like a RC Cola.
Crystal K, Crystal Meth, Special K. You mix it all together.
Special
Sin
K.
City Crypto. Here we
Special
go.
K is a cereal, okay? Special K is a cereal.
It's also a street name for drug. Thank you.
I want to get Rocco's take on this. Rocco.
On Special K?
No.
Oh.
Do you think, and this kind of goes back to yesterday's conversation, do you think Trump was giving lip service, or do you think he'll actually kind of stick to his word? Rob doesn't think he can 180. I don't know. I just don't trust politicians. What are your thoughts, Rocco?
No, I think so that's the usual politicians' tactics. 3 years ago, I was against. Now it's go back. Vote for me. I'll change this. You need a bridge. Vote for me. I'll build a bridge to the moon. It's actual politics talk. Yeah, I won't believe in anybody's.
But
he's in the
here's
lip
the thing. Even though it might be like, well, I'll believe it when I see it, kind of thing. And as you kind of mentioned, just kind of joking that, hey, politicians won't 180. You very true. Over promise, under deliver is the history of politics. But I'll say this, that taking no stance and actually taking the opposite stance, I think, is pretty dangerous, at least from a crypto perspective. And it was just 2 days ago, the executive branch put out a memo that said, we're going to veto any progressive legislation coming out of Congress. We don't care. We don't care if Republicans and Democrats come together, the hundreds of representatives come together, vote unanimously to pass something that everybody's in agreement is probably, or at least the majority is in agreement, is beneficial for our space. Hey, we're going to pass this. The administration said, you know what? Pass it if you dare you to pass it. Pass it and I will veto it because it will not cross my desk. As one person with a desk, if all of you come together, put a law together to make sense of crypto, put it on my desk, I dare you, I will veto it. Shame on you, man. Shame on you. And I'll be honest with you. I know me and David have very different takes. I have historically voted Democrat. I have historically voted Democrat. And I am by far one of the biggest critics of Donald Trump. I think that the man is a loose cannon, does not need to be at a podium representing our country. But with that said, there is a villain to the crypto industry in office right now, and he is the Red Skull of Marvel movies. This man is trying to stop what we're doing, and everything about him, he could have replaced the SEC chair. He could have did something for crypto regulation. He could have done anything, and he's done the exact opposite. And he's literally said, I dare you, Congress, pass a bill, and I will veto it. Shame on you. I refuse to say anything positive about that man. Go to sleep and hit the reset button on that computer up there, man. That freaking robot, bro.
He's already to sleep, so that's to go.
He just needs his ice cream first. Very well said.
Yeah.
Someone watching, clip that out, post it on Twitter. We'll repost it.
Again, doesn't matter here which side you are. That's the classic politician stuff. Banks are been around for a long time, and all these people that you're seeing in Congress, they're found by banks. Until there is money to be made from crypto from both sides.
But that's the thing, Rocco. That's the thing. SOB 121, what Congress is looking to repeal, which is what Joe Biden said, I'll veto. is going to give the banks the option, the ability to custody, which is what they want. And for me, I'm with Rob on this one. Like, for you to come out, it's one thing, let it pass and then veto it, and then we hear about it. Oh my God, he vetoed it. But to come out before it even passes the Senate, it just passed the House. For them to come out, for him to come out and say, yeah, we're going to veto it. It's BS.
And then why even put out the memo? I mean, honestly, if you want to be a douche, you put out the memo, right? I'm just being real. Like, wait till it comes to your desk and be like, guys, I just don't really agree with it. But to sit here and put out a memo from the executive branch saying, hey, bro, I dare you pass this. Like, wait till it gets to my desk. Like, that's horse. That's
HS.
Yeah.
You know, here's a question I'll ask you, right? I'm in the 50-50 camp of lip service versus him actually meaning it. But ask yourself this question. If it was lip service, would he do worse than what Biden is doing now? To me, the answer is no. So, pretty simple. Rob, why don't you
I got no name.
No name.
But
okay.
I'll say this. I've been caught up over here on this conversation. We have almost 700 live viewers and 120 likes. So I think we probably got a lot of new people trickling in. So do us a favor. Support the channel. Hit the like button. And if you are new here, say hello. We'd love to get an hola back at you. We'd like to acknowledge all of our new people. So take a moment, type something in the chat, and then we'll give you a shout out here shortly. So,
you know, we haven't done an hola train in a while.
Yeah. You want to do that?
Let's do an hola train.
Okay. So, guys, basically, let's do an hola train. So basically, we like to spam our own chat here. Unlike other channels, we say spam the chat. So put OLA in the chat. That's our slogan here. Hola. And let's see if we can get a couple hundred olas rolling through the chat. See, get the chat to come alive.
Rolla. Let's talk about the ETF flows. Yesterday, you know, not as bad as the day before when it comes to inflows, but Grayscale back at it again. From Farsight here, May 9th is where you want to look. BlackRock brought in 14.2 million, Fidelity 2.7 million. Everyone had inflows outside of the three, which include Valkyrie. Which one's the Burr one? Vanek, Valkyrie, and ETCW. I forget which one that was. Grayscale, 43.4 million in outflows. I'm curious now, Robin. This 63 million, could this have been Wells Fargo? Maybe, who knows? I don't have the timeline of when they had exposure, when they bought it, but it's just interesting nonetheless. All right, let's talk about Jupiter. Love Jupiter, man. I just love Jupiter so much. Just an amazing platform. If there was a Jupiter on Ethereum, that's all I would use. If Jupiter was multi-chain, across all layer 1s, layer 2s. I mean, Jupiter is great, but Jupiter is looking to, and what I also love about Jupiter as well is the fact that everything they're doing, everything they're building is with the user in mind first, right? You and I in mind first, for us to be able to go on jupe.ag or use it in a wallet, it be seamless, fast, easy, not complicated, cheap, protect us from MEVs, protect us from front running. And so they're continuing to grow. So their mobile app is set to release in May or June. This development will boost the exchange's accessibility and functionality, attracting global users. According to Seong, the Jupiter mobile app aims to provide users with a seamless and efficient trading experience, emphasizing security, speed, and user-friendly design. Rob, I don't think we need to argue about whether Jupe is the best decentralized exchange from a user experience and from a functionality standpoint in the entire industry. But I mean, what does this mobile app do for Jupiter, and what does it do for Solana as a layer 1?
I think this will go hand in hand with the Saga Solana phone, right? I think that this will probably be a native app that's integrated onto the phone. I think that there is a Uniswap app as well on iOS, and
Underwhelming.
It's very underwhelming. And I think that this will probably rival that in the same way that all of the bells and whistles features and things that you get from Jupiter far exceed the experience that you get on Uniswap. I'm expecting the same thing to be rolled out here for the Jupiter app. Like if you were to put Jupiter app versus Uniswap app, now I haven't had hands-on experience with the Jupiter app. Neither one of us have, but
I have Jupiter.
no, I'm saying this.
Oh, the app. Oh,
the
yeah,
mobile app.
Yes.
I would assume that it's going to blow Uniswap's app out the water, right? Because the Uniswap app, it's basically the desktop version, and that's it, right? Like, yeah, I guess, I mean, what else would you need to put on there? But when you look at what Jupiter offers compared to a traditional DEX, it is leaps and bounds more user-friendly, the UI features. Also, there's some safeguards in place there that you don't get from Uniswap, right? And some notifications and other barriers that you have to climb before you basically screw yourself out of money, but through scams, right? And so I think at the end of the day, this news probably went unread or kind of got skimmed past by a lot of people. But I think that this is something that we're going to look at moving forward and saying, guys, Jupiter just won't stop, man. Everyone's got a Jupiter app. I mean, think about how many people have a Coinbase app, right? You have a Coinbase app, right?
I do have a Coinbase app. Yep.
Rocco, you got a Coinbase app? He's got a Coinbase app. I have a Coinbase app. And so I think even the most mundane, run-of-the-mill person has a Coinbase app. Why? Because that's where we transact. That's where we onboard and offboard. That's where it's just a convenient one, right? You trust it. It's user-friendly. Have you ever had a bad experience with the app? Maybe it's a little easier to use a desktop, sure, but it's not like the app is broken. It's not like you get on the Coinbase app, you're like, man, I hate this app. I don't, at least. And so I feel like we're going to have the same experience with Jupiter, and I think that more and more people are going to get exposure to the Solana ecosystem through Jupiter, and I think they're going to find it in a nice, comfortable place on your iPhone, on your Samsung, right?
I talk about Jupiter all the time, man. Jupe is amazing. It's the video we did today, man. You guys, if you're into crypto and learning, you are gonna absolutely love the video that you get to watch in about 2 hours today. It a lot of time and research went into it, highlighting Jupe. Absolutely amazing. Excited for you guys to watch that. Robin, something that we haven't had in I feel like a year. A super sticker, a super chat. Wow.
Yeah, $9.99 from Simon.
It's also a whale member.
Yeah, big shout out to you. And then wearing our next whale member, if you aren't familiar, well, we do have a whale member tier.
How about this? The next person who signs up whale member gets to stay at Robin's house for 3 days. Yeah.
You're always lending. I swear to God, anybody that comes visit.
Hey,
it's been like 3 times in a row. Someone comes to Las Vegas. Where are you staying? Oh, I haven't booked anything. And then next thing you know, I got a text message. It's like, hey, can Crypto Steve stay at your house? I'm like, bro.
Listen,
I swear to God, you lend my house. You. It's not an Airbnb, man.
Listen, at least the people I recommend aren't ungrateful people who come stay at your house over the weekend and then completely go.
There's a plus right there. That's good. Then it's okay.
Wow. Instead of me,
Rocco, what about your house, man?
Here's the thing. David's
Send it over.
David's
I got a pitbull at the door.
So David's argument here is like, well, at least I didn't invite a homeless man over. That's not what basically I said. He said, at least they're thankful. Like, what am I supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? Come stay in my house and then
how about a
pissed
thank
off?
you?
Be like, you know what, man? He had only 1-ply toilet paper in the guest bathroom, and it was a shame. I would never.
It was used.
First of all, if you buy 1-ply toilet paper, shame on you.
Robert, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not playing any games here. All right. Let's talk about Exodus, okay? They have been excommunicated from the listing on the NASDAQ or on the New York Stock Exchange. So, not familiar, Exodus is they're mainly known for their wallet, right? Mobile wallet, desktop wallet. So, this is from J.P. Richardson, who is let me kind of hover over this. He's the CEO of Exodus, okay? So, yesterday, the SEC prevented the listing of their ticker on the New York Stock Exchange. We've been working with the New York Stock Exchange on this listing for years, and and were given prior approval formally by the NYSE to list today. We flew hundreds of employees and families into New York City to celebrate this moment. Every step of the way, we've played by the regulatory rules given, and then at the 11th hour, the rules of the game were changed. It's beyond frustrating. This changes nothing about the record-setting Q1 performance of our business or the strength of our team. This changes nothing for the 4.5 million people who love and trust our products. However, Exodus is already regulated as a public company with robust reporting obligations just like Google or Amazon. Continuing to operate as a public company without the benefits of stock liquidity provided by a listing on the NYSE is not sound business for now. We will continue to work with the SEC on this listing, but are considering all of our options. Nothing is off the table, to which Eric Voorhees said, atrocious and not surprising. You must lead your people out of bondage. But yeah. You know, how much is this holding our industry back, Robin, from mainstream adoption, right? Companies that do go public, they're continuing to be attacked. Companies that want to go public, they're not able to because the SEC is hamstringing them.
That's what I was saying earlier, man. At this point, there's no reason to operate at all in the United States, right?
Which is sad, man. It's so sad.
There's no reason. Like, what's the point, right? You're going to either get sued or just simply denied, or probably both, actually.
What comes first?
And so it's and I go back to my earlier statements. I don't believe that any of this changes anytime soon, but I do think on the horizon for the election, if there is a switch at presidency, I do think that at least a change in cabinet members, I think
a lot of this is Elizabeth Warren, bro.
Probably. I think she has some say.
I think she has a big.
And also, what's the lizard man?
Brad Sherman.
Brad Sherman, yeah. So I think that there are a handful of people over there
pulling, the crypto bros
pulling the strings there and the executive branch. And so,
and do you think every morning they wake up and they like have a computer set up to they tap into Joe Biden, like today say this or we're vetoing this?
He's just he's got
he's
the Neuralink and there's somebody with an iPad over there, like. Real quick, earlier asked y'all to say what up, give y'all a shout out. So for those of you that are new, if you're still new, if you haven't said anything, say hello. We'd love to drop an old lot back at you. Ben Simmons. We got Simon, Crypto Stits, Cam's Video, Eddie PT, Mitch Shaw, OPX Reaper or S Reaper. We have Fra, Cali Fishing, and DSA HDSN. And then also Luke here as well. Then earlier we had a sighting of Jenna X and T-Shroom.
Ooh.
So two people that we've also had on the show in the past. Oh, to all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Welcome. All right. Let's talk about...
And hit the damn like button.
Yeah, I know. What's going on here, man?
I call on you to hit that like button. See if we can get over 200 likes.
Should be more, but yeah.
Yeah.
We'll start there. We'll start at 200. Rob, let's take a look at where the markets are today.
All right. So, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Bitcoin holding that support at 60K. You can see on the 24-hour, it was early this morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 7 here, Vegas. It went from 63, and we had a massive sell-off, bro. We had just a big old red candle on the 4-hour, down to 60,000. But there's something to hold your hat on as well. The price of 60K was held up by that massive support and very large psychological number, which is 60,000. Taking a look back at the 1 week, see that in the last 7 days, well, we're giving up a little bit of gains. On the month, chopping sideways, recovered from this dip down to 57. And then you zoom out to the year, you can see that when in doubt, zoom out year ago, 25,000. And so well over 2x where we have been in the last 12 months. So the market is in the right direction. short-term pullback, all-time highs recently crossed. I think the markets are good. So I'm pretty excited about the direction we're going.
Before we move on from Bitcoin, real quick, I just want to show a Bitcoin chart, right?
Go ahead.
Take a look at Bitcoin on the weekly, right? So you have two potentially giant bullish patterns. One you can see here is a cup and handle, right? This is on the weekly cup, and we're currently forming the handle. All right, that's your first one. Your second one, let me get rid of this. Your second one is a massive bull flag that going all the way back to October of last year. You have a pole up here, and then the flag. Now you don't want the flag to go below your 50 your 50 level on the fib, in which we pull the fibs here. You can see here we wicked all the way down to the 382 level, almost perfectly on a wick, and we're currently between the 236 and the 382. And so that is still in play. These are both extremely bullish setups. If we zoom out to the 3-day and we throw in our Bollinger Bands, like, all right, what is price doing? Are we tightening up? Are we ready for a big move? Bands are starting to tighten, although they're expanding a little bit on the 3-day. If we zoom out to the 1-day, bands have been pretty tight, right? We haven't had a big breakout. And if we zoom out again to the weekly, that breakout should, of course, these are all probabilities when you talk about TA, should break to the upside. And the upside move is going to be massive. I've done the measured moves here on both the bull flag and on the cup and handle, and it should take us to over $100,000. So as Rob mentioned, when in doubt, zoom out. Short-term price action obviously is negative. We're continuing to put in lower highs, but we had actually a nice inverse head and shoulders set up here on the 3-day. You can see here your left shoulder, you had your head here. And then we failed the breakout of the neckline right here, right? You failed the breakout of the neckline. So that is not good on a short-term level. But again, when you zoom out, things are looking pretty good for BTC. And again, when you're in the beginning or in a bull market, you are going to get pullbacks. You are going to get some levels or some points in time where you have these long weeks or days or maybe even a couple months of consolidation, especially just 1 month, not even 1 month post-halving. And so these are all things that are par for the course that people just forget that, hey, this is completely normal. Go ahead. Take a look at the altcoin.
All right. So getting back into the altcoin market, as far as our gains today, we have Akash Network rallying another day, another big day for Akash Network, and up 13% on the 24 hours, but up 36% on the week. And so we've seen some earnings reports and bullish indicators coming out of AI sector, particularly from NVIDIA. And I think that's one of the big catalysts for this price rally on Akash. Also, Toncoin up 6%, Injective up 5%, and Phantom is back into the green today and this week. And so will we see a continuation?
Are you bullish on Phantom?
I am. You know,
You think the upside potential is there?
I think it's worth a position in the portfolio. Put it that way. I don't go all in. I wouldn't take a massive leverage position on it. But at the end of the day, I ask myself, what is DeFi or what does crypto do best, right? And it's DeFi, right? Why was crypto created? Why was Bitcoin created? It was a peer-to-peer, intermediary-free payment network, right? And what does all that translate to? Decentralized finance. That's why Bitcoin was created. That's the foundation of all the blockchains for the most part. You know, there's some new ones coming out, but ultimately is a trustless network where we can move value around, right? Today, and then value might be Bitcoin, value might be NFT, or how about the value of your home, of your last will and testament, of something that you want to tokenize, put on a blockchain. All of that is valuable to someone. And so value can be interchanged for money or also services and products and tokenization of real world assets. And at the end of the day, the movement of value is DeFi, right? Decentralized finance. And that's what Phantom's here to do. And they have a tenure in their space. They've been around in the last bull market.
And they're like a sneaky. Phantom's
Yeah.
a sneaky coin. Like you just sleep on it, and the next thing you know, you check the price. Like holy shit, it
And
doubled.
so, yeah, I just think that realistically, they are in the strongest sector. And I feel like a lot of the other layer ones, a lot of the other blockchains have almost forgotten about DeFi, right? Or I don't want to say forgotten, but it seems like their focus has shifted from what DeFi does best. And look at Ethereum as an example, right? They're not worried about transaction fees and functionality and, throughput and processing lots of transactions and making microtransactions easy and affordable. Like, no, they just like security, man. This is what we're doing here, bro. We're building blockchain security. Gotta make sure that we gotta make sure this JPEG doesn't get compromised, right? And so it's not the focal point of a lot of these blockchains.
But
And
there's
so
also more competition too, right? Than last cycle, right? Phantom, and I'm looking at a Phantom chart. Phantom got up
who
to
else is doing
$3.
DeFi? I mean, realistic. Like really, really, really focusing on it. Now, I think all the layer ones ultimately do participate in DeFi, but I just don't think that anyone's, like taking that stamp of approval and being like, DeFi, that's us, right here. This is us. This is what we do. This is what we do best. We're gonna be the leader and the king of this. Nobody else is doing that. And so for me, I think that's worth something, man. I think that's worth something. I'm a big fan.
I want to take a quick.
And while you do that, big shout out, Broki Yoshi gifted 10 memberships. And so if you were the lucky recipient of Broki Yoshi's membership, welcome to the club.
I want to share this. So I posted this on Twitter or on X yesterday. So I highlighted our video here. So I want to share this tweet, and I want you guys to go and participate. So did a video. I took the top 10 layer one altcoins on CoinMarketCap. Just went through, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to 10, right? And so we did an S, A, B, C, and D tier. The tier with the most coins was the S tier. The tier with the least amount of coins was the D tier. And I ranked them based on two categories. One, their value proposition, what makes the project stand out. And two, their future outlook and potential. So we're doing a giveaway. I'm going to give away $50 in stable coins to whoever guesses correctly. We've had a few guesses here. Ham PNG thinks I did ICP, ETH, and NEAR in the S tier. Solana and Avalanche in the A tier. Crypto Hulk put it in there. LL Radio. I'm not going to give any hints as far as who's the closest yet. But it's very interesting. So, guys, go on there. Or if you're not going on there, throw it in the chat. What are some projects you think I put in the S tier? And then if you want to be considered to win the $50, jump over to our X. It's at Sin City Crypto 1 and throw it on there. So it should be pretty.
And then also, I'd love to see the live viewers turn up for the video as well. So if you're watching the video that we're putting out today and you're coming from the live chat, or you're watching today, put the Brola in the chat. And so that way you're basically checking in. Let's see how many Brolas pop up in the afternoon video and the comment section. So
yeah. All right. Let's talk about a new Bitcoin integration. Lightning Labs is bringing stable coins to the Bitcoin blockchain. Interesting.
Is this the Lightning Network?
Lightning Network, yeah.
Ah.
Lightning Labs, yeah. This is a quote from Lightning Labs CEO Elizabeth Stark. We released an early part of the code in October, and actually just on this past Thursday, demoed the first ever transaction on Litecoin or on Lightning of an asset. The idea is to have crypto dollars and stable coins on the Bitcoin blockchain, she explained. Now you're going to get the maxis. I know, it's interesting. But obviously, Robin, we know stable coins are extremely important to any booming protocol, right? Any booming layer one. Do you think people are just trying to do too much on Bitcoin? Like, should we just accept it as a store of value, as gold?
Oh, build that thing out, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's our strongest blockchain, right? The one we hold our hat on. I'm not in that maxi camp where we're like, hey man, all you need is Bitcoin. Everything else is trending. Like, nah, I don't live there. But you know what? Let's expand this thing. There's nothing stopping innovative layer ones from securing their network on the Bitcoin blockchain and having interoperability in between the chains, right? And the Lightning Network isn't exactly a blockchain. It's more of a highway of channels, a little more centralized, a highway of payment channels that all kind of leverage one another to operate, right? A little complex, but either way, I think it's pretty bullish. Stable coins on the Lightning Network, I think, is going to be very interesting. And we've seen the Lightning Network in full swing on the Cash App. There's a couple other big platforms that use the Lightning Network.
Coinbase just
Yeah,
integrated.
and you know what? If I can send, I mean, here's the hypothetical, right? I always go back to my family. My daughter lives in Israel, and it's very difficult for me to send money internationally without paying that wire transfer fee. And so the wire transfer fee is $50 on my end, $50 on the other end, at least from the United States to Israel, going through the SWIFT system. So it's $100, right? And so for me, I'm not saying that $50 is beneath me, but whatever. You know, I don't have an issue paying $50, but for my daughter, she ain't got $50 laying around. You know,
I being cheap, man.
and so, anyways, I always use crypto, and especially, obviously I'm crypto savvy, and so they always want me to send Tron. I know we talked about this before, and it's very hard for me to pick up here. So if I have an option of sending stablecoin through the Bitcoin network at the Lightning cost fees, so which is probably 1 to 5 cents is generally what a Lightning transaction costs you. And so if I can send straight, think about this. If it's integrated, like you mentioned Coinbase, if it's on Cash App, if I can open up my Cash App and I can send $1,000 to my daughter in Israel without buying any other altcoin, I can literally just go on, pull the trigger on some Bitcoin. I know the liquidity is there, obviously. Buy it, send it through the Lightning Network. I said Bitcoin. I guess obviously stablecoins is my apologies, but if I can go pick up some USDC, did they say which stablecoin?
No.
Okay, but let's just say I buy some USDC or some Tether, and then I can just send it straight through the Lightning Network. I mean, for
You're
a penny,
bullish.
I mean, it's pretty bullish, bro. I'm sorry. This is pretty bullish. You pulled this up. I hadn't seen this headline, and I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, or the Jupiter app plus this, I think, is just news people are falling asleep on. It's not anything that I'm seeing smacked in my face. I know everyone's talking about Wells Fargo, but I mean, I'm not surprised with that one. Am I surprised that the Lightning Network is sending stable coins? Yeah. like that's big, bro.
Elizabeth
Let's
Stark.
go.
She also she pointed to the IMF article that came out saying Bitcoin has become an increasingly important channel to send remittances and evade capital controls in emerging markets. And so, that's the whole point of open source, right? Is the source, excuse me, the source is there. It's open to anyone. You can build whatever you want on it. That's the whole point. And so if you're going to be open source and tout Bitcoin or any blockchain as decentralized open source, yada, 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 you can't get upset when people build applications on top of it. And I'm sure the miners are going to like this, obviously, as the halving continues to diminish block subsidies for the miners and in turn diminishing their revenue. We need transaction fees. Like if miners are no longer profitable because transaction fees are down, because we just want to store Bitcoin and never transact with it.
Let me ask you
At some point,
Let me ask you something. Do you think that there's any legitimate chance that Bitcoin ends up being the front runner in the base chain for smart contracts, for stable coins, for what you see being accomplished on Solana, Ethereum, Cardano? Do you think that maybe people just keep building on Bitcoin, and because it has such a large market cap share, that let's just say the likes of Stacks and some other layer ones, perhaps ICP. I know they natively work with Bitcoin as well. Do you think that all of a sudden, even though this development is going on other blockchains, you think there's any credible chance that those kind of fall by the wayside and that everything kind of runs through the Bitcoin network? Stacks, Lightning Network.
No.
You don't think that's a possible future?
Because take this for example. This is a centralized solution. The whole point is decentralized.
But this is one example. But it's stable. It's the movement of stablecoins. So I'm not surprised to see stablecoins, which is a centralized token.
But it's built through Lightning Labs, which is a centralized. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that Lightning Labs. I'm just saying that the Lightning Network is a pretty powerful, or it's a pretty large network. Put it that way. A lot of people do use the Lightning Network. Is there more people using it than other blockchains? Yes. Is it used more than Ethereum and Solana? No, obviously. But maybe the network grows. Maybe because they have stable coins, they become a lot larger. Maybe smart contracts get adopted on Stacks and Stacks ends up blowing up. Maybe ICP, they're natively working with Bitcoin and they end up doing smart contracts as well. And maybe we look back 10 years from now, we look back and we're like, wow, man, there was a lot of innovation going on in layer ones, but at the end of the day, everyone was just leveraging that massive security and that decentralized network that is Bitcoin.
Yeah, and maybe Rocco likes barbecue chicken pizza. We can sit here and say maybe all day long.
And the reason I say
100 years from now, maybe.
The reason I bring that up, the reason that I propose that question is that I think that it is a real possibility. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so. I think that more than likely innovation will be spread across. New blockchains will pop up. The ones that are here now will innovate and expand and offer more utility, and their communities will grow. I think that is ultimately what will happen. But I will say this. Don't dismiss the power of the Bitcoin network. We saw the rise of ordinals. At certain points in time, the NFT marketplace was we're seeing more transactions on Bitcoin than we were anywhere else. And I wouldn't be surprised to see more transactions of stablecoins moving around. I wouldn't shock me if I'm like, hey, man, you know what? There's more stablecoins moving around globally per the Lightning Network than there is on Ethereum, right? Do you think people will? You're incentivized to send Lightning Network versus Ethereum. So if you just that's where I'm getting at, is I wouldn't be like so like blown away, like how did we get here? And I'm just saying that like I think there's a legitimate chance that the front runner for layer one smart contracts could somehow, some way, shape, or form through the Bitcoin network be exactly that.
Well, people are hyping up, Bitcoin DeFi summer, and that being one of the biggest narratives going into this cycle. And so, I'm not saying that's not going to happen. I just think
it's something to think about.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And I don't think that's going to happen.
I thought about it. I don't like it.
I know you don't, and I can see that.
It doesn't bother me.
But I mean, the thing is it is the largest network, and it is the most secure, and it's the most liquid, and it's arguably the most decentralized,
the most adopted.
And so if you were to build a blockchain, if you were to build a separate blockchain, and you were to leverage someone else's security, would you go the Polygon route and use Ethereum, or would you use Bitcoin? And I think that nowadays, I think it's more and more seeming logical and like a better move to use the security of Bitcoin network versus Ethereum. And I think the conversation could be expanded from Bitcoin versus, and then replace that with another blockchain. I think that there is a compelling argument to be made that, hey, maybe it is better to build on Bitcoin, but not to discount the rest of the altcoin markets. So
speaking of altcoin markets, Robin, big news from Sui. Sui's one that I got on my radar now. So Sui's zero-knowledge login now adds multi-signature recovery and support for Apple accounts. Interesting. Let's dig in here. Initially introduced last year with support for Google, Twitch, and Facebook accounts, the integration with Apple of Sui's login offers users the convenience of consolidating all their social logins under one platform, particularly beneficial for iOS users seeking seamless integration with the SUI wallet creation with iPhone applications. The introduction of multi-sig recovery presents a novel approach to account recovery, prioritizing both security and user accessibility. With ZK Login's reliance on the application client ID and issuer, such as Google, multi-sig significantly enhances account recoverability, ensuring users can regain access even if the original application or credential issuer becomes inactive. So I think the big takeaway here, Rob, is integration with Apple on a software level, right? On the iOS level. We know Apple, obviously Android and Google have the market share globally, but here in the US, Apple is king, unless you're, of course, sitting in a room with Rocco, as he's still the only one of Sin City Crypto team here that has a Google phone. Shame on you, Rocco. So
I got my phone, Solana coming. Sega too, but
he's got a Solana
Yeah.
phone. That's also Android, though, so same thing. But Robin, SUI has been doing some very interesting things. Tokenomics are not very good. A lot of unlocks. But
Let me ask you.
they're giving me like Near and Solana vibes here.
So here's a question, right? The pictures on your phone, your conversations, basically your data on your phone. Some people hold it in higher regards than others, right? I mean, I know there's lots of examples of someone losing their iPhone or breaking it or getting stolen, and they want it back badly, not because they want that piece of hardware, but because they have very important, and so they have, like, I know a lot of the stories of someone's grandfather or father or kids, photos on there. They just want that device back, right? And so it shows you that people prioritize data, right? And if that's important to a lot of people, now whether it's important to you, that's different. I really care less if I lose my phone, whatever. Like I have backups.
I care less if I lose my phone.
I do. I care. I get another one.
You're not worried about someone picking up your phone and locking it and seeing all those pictures you have hidden?
have you seen the picture?
I'm assuming.
Nah.
I mean, you're a single man. I'm assuming there's some pictures that have
calm down.
exchanged.
Calm down. It is Las Vegas, and it is Big Rob, and I am single, so watch out.
So you've been
Hidden
seeing
folder is very interesting. It's a little taboo in there. All right,
He's
so
handed his bird.
but I'll say this: that data on a phone is extremely valuable to a lot of people, and if you have recovery if you have a recovery, we are all too familiar with the little blue hyperlink underneath the password that says "forgot login, forgot password." You click it. That layers of security is not anything to
boast about.
Yeah, I
Very
mean, literally, it's usually an email to the same email that your login is. It probably got hacked and probably has the same password as whatever the hell you're trying to get into. Probably has the same password, your email, and you get in there and then you click a link, reset password. Anyways, realistically speaking, the security for phones, for your passwords and stuff, suboptimal. It's subpar. It's pretty whack, right?
That's pretty whack.
And so to take a blockchain and say, hey, look, blockchain is about as secure as get. You can't hack this thing. Throw a seed phrase on it. Throw a seed phrase. Plug my Ethereum wallet. Plug the SUI interface in there. Let me use my seed phrase there to secure what I hold important, which in this situation would be data. I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I think that we're going to see a lot more of this, and I think that SUI just kind of cracked the door open. And I think a lot of other layer ones are looking like, dude, that's a no-brainer. Why haven't we done that?
Yeah, that's the exciting part of being in a new space is like things that you wouldn't have even thought about or imagined could be possible.
Mhm.
These companies are showing you that it's possible. SUI is an interesting one that's on my radar. Should be on your radar as well. I'm not saying go buy some or whatever.
You know what I want? I just realized it.
Ledger Nano X, so you can save everything.
What I want is blockchain security on my lock at the gym, right? And so I know that because there's just saying that, like, you started thinking about things but a padlock where you tap your phone and you use your wallet to unlock a padlock. because I don't know, man. There's a lot of creepy people up in the gym.
Wow.
First of all,
somebody throw millions of dollars into
Yes.
how to crack that code, guys.
yeah, I'm just saying, man, padlocks are very important, and I always forget the damn combination, and I got to spin a bunch of times to the right and
The
then
narrative
the
no one
left.
saw coming.
I'm like,
The
did I pass
padlock
Did I
narrative.
pass the number once or twice? I don't remember. And so for me, let me just tap my damn phone. Everybody has their phone at the gym nowadays. Let me tap my phone on my lock. Use my security for my blockchain, and I don't have to worry about how many times I pass the number, or how many times I turn the dial to the right.
Guys,
And,
What a
and
great
also, big shout out to the guy in the gym, in the locker, with this towel around his neck, walking around butt naked. Put that thing around your waist. Thank you.
guys, we're
So you
doing a
can tap
video
your-
on Monday about the top blockchain projects that are looking to solve the padlock issue. Big narrative for 2025, guys. Stay tuned.
I wish I can have an espresso machine. You tap your phone and it makes an
Those are
espresso.
expensive, man. Maybe when we hit 100,000
blockchain.
subscribers, we'll get an espresso machine because I would like one.
Jesus.
But just the good ones are like
I
5-6
have
grand.
the company credit card and an Amazon account. I will order one if you tell me to do so.
There's not much left.
I like the one with the
literally
cups.
spent all of it.
The Nespresso
Um,
one.
I want to talk about a little bit about Solana here. So Anatoly, founder of Solana, previews Solana post Fire Dancer, right? And then Solana was part of the video that you're going to watch later today. Fire Dancer, I mean, if you're not over the moon bullish on Fire Dancer, if implemented, it does what they say it's going to do. Caveat. Then I mean, Solana, this is a no-brainer, right? So. Looking ahead, Anatoly predicts that Solana will grow to host more than $1 trillion worth of stablecoins within the next 5 years. Makes total sense. He said also, quote, "We're blessed to stress test with meme coins and not with a $1 trillion worth of stablecoins. We're lucky to find those bugs and fix them." And then we know Fire Dancer is right around the corner, you guys, built by Jump Crypto. It's a validator client that's going to take Solana's TPS from around 22 to 2,500 now to over 1 million. Now, I know you hear that all the time. 1 million TPS, million, we're the highest. And everyone just says it in theory. But this is being tested I think it's currently being tested on the testnet. And so what he's pretty much saying is, look, we think we can capture $1 trillion of the stablecoin market. And we're just happy that the issues we had when that meme coin frenzy was happening a few months ago, we're happy it happened with meme coins and not with the stable coins. But Robin, how is your outlook on Solana? Has it changed at all? It's been a while since we kind of talked about our thoughts on Solana. Me personally, I'm still extremely bullish on Solana. I've continued to add on the dips, $120, $130. To me, anything
I've been burned by Ethereum's upgrade hype over and over again, and the length of time it took to roll out the proof of stake. And I just have subdued my expectations when it comes to a network upgrade, right? And so I know the promise of Fire Dancer is pretty bold. It is, the numbers, if executed, I think are an absolute game changer. But me personally, I just look at blockchains as a very complicated network, hard to adjust, especially on the fly. You can't turn the damn thing on and upgrade it in the same way you would like Windows and reinstall. Like, no, I mean, you got to take the current network, keep it uptime, and change it in real time. I'll wait and see is kind of my motto here, and not at all to dismiss this or say it's irrelevant. I think that it's a massive upgrade with a lot of potentials for issues. I think there's massive upside, but also, be wary, be cautious, and understand that things could go unintended. There could be unintended consequences or vulnerabilities, or maybe it just doesn't execute to the level that they expected to. And I'm no blockchain. I don't write blockchain. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a developer. I don't know cryptography, but maybe it doesn't quite scale in the way they think they do. Maybe
which is why I give my caveat, right? Caveat is if it does what they say it's going to do.
Pretty bullish, man. I'm expecting it to roll out. I wouldn't put my portfolio behind it. Put it that way. I wouldn't expand my position on Solana based on this, right? I think that whatever exposure I have now, cool, let it be. I'm not spooked. I'm not going to sell my position. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, fire dance is coming. It could all burn down. I'm not saying that, but I don't look at it as the catalyst to take it to $1,000. And could it be that? Sure, but I don't weigh in on it with my own capital. And at least not any more than I already do. I believe in Solana. I believe in its ecosystem. I believe in the community. I believe in the dApps. I believe that it's going to close the gap on Ethereum, if not flip it. If Ethereum keeps treading water and doesn't upgrade and the throughputs are straight ass and the transactions are just unrealistic for day-to-day usage, then Solana is going to flip Ethereum. It's just the reality of it.
Okay.
But when will that happen? That's to be seen. That's for another conversation. But if Ethereum stays still and everyone keeps building and becoming more efficient, Ethereum's going to lose.
You know, Softshell said, I like the new setup. Wait till you see what's going to be behind here, my friend. It's going to be sick. Rapid fire.
We're going to have behind us, in case you don't know,
3 Jubilee girls.
No, but kind of. But the thing is that the office that we use next door is a strip club. So we're going to open this up and have a live show with our live show. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Rapid fire. Okay. Rapid fire. What are you more bullish on this cycle, Solana or Cardano?
Cardano.
Really?
The retail hasn't got in yet, and the retail's coming. And when the retail comes, we saw what happened. Best performing layer one last bull market was Solana. Well, the best performing one was Solana, but that was because it came out of ICO. But if you look at the performance of layer one that had been around since the previous cycle, Cardano blew them all away.
Cardano had a 60x in 245 days.
Yeah, it went from sub 5 cents to $3, bro.
Okay.
And that was without smart contracts. It did on the later half. It did towards the back end of that bull market. But a lot of those gains came just off of speculation and retail just being very very supportive of Cardano and its promise. And they have been building. They haven't slowed down. I know you might be a little bit more bullish on some other projects as of lately, but I think that the sleeping giant here is Cardano, and I think that they are going to shock the world when the dApps, developers, TVL community, I think that all of that just kind of ramps up in unison.
All right. Solana or Avalanche?
Solana.
Avalanche or Cardano?
Cardano.
Really? Cardano or Near?
Cardano. I think Cardano is the best.
Is there one layer one you're not
for this point in the market? This point in the market right now, where we're at in the market, I think Cardano is the winner because I think it's undervalued. I'll be honest with you, the only one sleeper I could see kind of creeping in would be maybe someone that's outside of the top 15. Like if you would have said ICP in Cardano,
yeah, ICP in Cardano,
I would say ICP because I think it has a lot more room to run. With ICP having a $5 billion market cap versus Cardano's 20 or $16 billion market cap, I think that it's just a little more fuel for ICP to get to where it wants to be. But I do think that at number 10 on the CoinMarketCap list, something that was sniffing out number 3 spot last bull market, I think Cardano is going to, I think they're going to really stand out as one of the strongest layer ones in the same way that Solana stood out so far right now.
Okay, last one. Ready? Last one. XRP or USDC?
That's interesting.
Let me see if I can.
I mean, how mad Rocco gets. No, he gets so mad. He just jumps right in.
I don't know. I actually think that's a fair comparison, right?
Stop it.
No. Here's the thing. USDC is the second option for stablecoin. Tether, pretty damn big. USDC, the court case will be over
Okay.
within the next 60 days. And
You are
and
not
likely-
making a case for a stable coin versus XRP right now, are you?
You're pro stablecoin?
No,
You think this?
Are you going down? Okay, I thought you were going down the route of USDC.
As having more adoption and more market
More
and
upside. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't mean like return, like holding a stable coin. Oh, that's what you're saying.
That was a
I
piece
thought
of
you
my
meant
question.
like I thought
It
you
was
meant.
supposed to be funny. And you're
Oh. I thought you were talking about its market cap.
Hey, you're
no,
not Dave. You're not-
honestly, no. Here's this is what I thought you were alluding to, and here's an interesting thought. At market cap, XRP and USDC are neck and neck, and so where I thought you were going is which one of these will have more market cap going into the next
okay,
bull
go
market.
ahead. And yeah, which one will have more market cap?
And I think that's a legit comment. I think that the lawsuit will be over within the next few weeks, the next couple months at least, and the basically the shackles will be removed from XRP. The liquidity will be removed. The ability to transact with it here, or the ability for companies to have a position, or banks or institutions to have exposure to XRP, I think the door will be open here in the United States once the court case is over. And I think that whether or not it gets the adoption of Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, maybe not, but I think that is going to be very bullish in the next bull market. And so I think that market cap of XRP exceeds that of USDC this coming bull market. Maybe not my top choice for an altcoin, but I think that there is a lot of upside to XRP. I don't think there's too much downside. I don't think that XRP is going to go to 10 cents, but I do think that it has a very strong potential to get to $2, $3, $4, $5.
Okay. That'll do it for the show today. We want to give one more shout out to channel sponsor Cam's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how they can help your business scale and grow, visit bluewiretech.com.
And then a big shout out to some of the new people spotted here. Last minute, we got West 632 Gizma, My Boosted German Fleet, Panhama, Coca-Cola Pranjal, ICP Profits, Abel Matthew, Tony P, and SeaWorld. Not the one that holds the animals, but the letter C.
Oh.
Now, to all of you, hola! Welcome and goodbye.
Okay, real quick. Last one. Pepsi or Coca-Cola?
There's no difference.
Molecola.
You know,
Coca-Cola.
there was an interesting Harvard study, right? And it was about marketing. So there's this interesting video. You can go check it out. It's about marketing, and it's at Harvard, one of their marketing classes. And they begin the class by having blind taste test, and there's 2 bottles, and neither have a label. And the professor stands up. He's like, hey, show of hands. Who is a fan of Coca-Cola? Who is a fan of Pepsi? And then he said, keep your hand up if you can blindly taste the difference and if you can identify it. And they go down and taste it, and it was pretty much dead split. People had no idea. It's just a marketing thing.
Robin, there used to be a way to figure out which one was what back when Coca-Cola used to put actual cocaine in the soda.
Wow.
There you have it.
There you go.
With that being said, Rocco.
What can I comment?
Very windy today, so I had to do a real deep tornado. Anyways, guys, it was an amazing week. We hope you enjoy the content. You are going to want to watch the video that is dropping in 1 hour.
Rolla in the chat to say that, hey, I watched the live and I'm...
Watch the video. It's really, really good. In the next hour, we love you guys. Have a great weekend. Peace.
I put number 3 if you don't like Pepsi or Coca-Cola.
You like Fanta? Put her number.
Oh, Molecola.
To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.